Amazing. Welcome, everyone. We are at another Ask Your Mentor Anything Live on Fridays. And this Friday we have Pavel. Pavel Elin, is that correct? The pronunciation, Pavel? Hi, how are you?
Hello, Virginia. Thank you for invitation. Hello, all. Yes, the pronunciation is 100% correct. So,
It's easy. So today's topic for everyone that they are joining us: email marketing for freelance language professionals, translators, interpreter, or in general. Do not try to tell everything. That's an advice from Pavel, and we're going to explain why. Pavel has chosen this topic and title for today. If you have any questions about this topic, you can share in the chat. If you have any insights or experience using email marketing as a freelance translator or interpreter, again, use the chat below and let us know where are you watching us from and your insights. You can share any stories you would like. But first of all, let us know where are you watching us from. Say hello. Is the picture, is the sound is okay? Let us know if you can hear us before we start. Ask Your Mentor Anything live series with Pavel today about email marketing. Let us know if the sound of the picture is okay before we start. And Pavel, the first part is about you. Always in the Ask Your Mentor Anything series, and you can watch all the previous videos, more than 100 interviews on my YouTube channel, Virginia Katsimpiri, so you can find all the previous guests there on different business-related topic about our industry. All the recordings along with Pavel today, but we would love to see you here live with us just to be able to answer all of your questions and also to network and to get to know you guys. So use the chat below wherever you're watching us from and let me know your destination, where you're based. Amazing. So Pavel, let's start with you because you have also an interesting story. You're currently in Portugal, is that correct?
yes, it's totally
But
correct.
your origins are
I am Russian by my origin. I was born.
Russian. Okay,
Yeah,
your accent is Russian, most
I,
likely.
I was born in 1,000 kilometers from Moscow. But in terms of Russia, it's rather close to Moscow. So yes, I am from Russia.
Amazing. So let us know a bit about you. For those that don't know you, I see many people they know you. Hello, Carlos. How are you, Carlos? Greetings from Pisa. Amazing.
Hello,
I will love
Carlos.
Italy. If you are using Facebook, use the StreamYard link. Click on this to be able to show, as you see here, Carlos' name. You need to click on the StreamYard link to allow StreamYard to show your name because I see someone from South Africa. Amazing today. Again, international community. So thank you guys for joining us live. Let's start with Pavel to introduce yourself to those that they don't know you, because I know that you're very well known on LinkedIn. Nicola is here as well. Hello, Nicola. So for those that they don't know you, briefly description about you and description. I'm going to ask you some most common questions asked by my mentees, so you can answer those questions before we enter our topic today. Amazing.
So, as I told you, I was born in Russia. I started my career in the language industry in 2007 as a freelance translator. In 2010, I started my first business as an agency, and our agency was the first agency in our city that offered more than 5 languages.
Wow.
We offered 27 languages, and it was wow for those days when we did not have stable internet connections and so on. It was interesting. It was a great experience. In 2011, I moved to Lisbon to become CEO and co-founder of Free Language LDA. It is a language service provider based here in Portugal. So, in and throughout these years, I was using LinkedIn with no purpose, with no goal, with no even understanding what for should I have it, and so on. And it happened so that by chance in 2019, I attended a very interesting workshop here in Lisbon. It was
Wow.
arranged by a friend of mine, by Dean Shedden. He is an expert in LinkedIn and social marketing. And I was so inspired that I started making some posts and publications with some information that I consider helpful, useful, and just interesting for freelance language professionals and for all language professionals, for translators, interpreters, localizers. So step by step, I got into this. I started thinking of doing something more. So I continued developing my LinkedIn blog. I converted my page in a sort of a blog, and I launched 4 consulting services for freelance language professionals. And in 2020, I wrote my book about email marketing that was published also on Amazon. So
Amazing.
this
So my
is
next question, why email marketing, Pavel? Why did you choose among all the other topics that we provide consultation to our colleagues? Why email marketing?
actually it started in a very simple way. As a CEO at Free Language, I keep receiving, I think, hundreds of emails from language professionals every month. And again, I saw and I keep seeing the same mistakes, the same drawbacks that affect the whole impression. And my first idea was to write a sort of leaflet or a sort of chart to help language professionals avoid these common mistakes. But when I started writing it, I understand that I divided the whole email marketing process into 7 stages, and then I understood that there is some room for improvement in every part, on every stage. So I continued writing, and as a result, I got a book.
Amazing story. And I suppose the book is not only about translators who send emails to agencies. Is that correct?
No, of course not.
Exactly. That is how it started, but it includes in general email marketing.
At the beginning of my book, I told that there are 2 types of customers: middlemen and direct clients. Of course, I also talked about middlemen, but I mainly focused on direct customers because
Exactly.
I believe it's more interesting for every language professional to cooperate with direct clients.
And I think it's also more challenging, let's say, more difficult and more complicating, at least in my opinion and based on my experience working with other colleagues. So amazing. Before we get into our topic, we have the most common questions. So if you remember, how did you start out as a translator? Like, I know that you mentioned that you started the first office in your area offering more than 5 languages, but before that, were you a freelance translator? Did you study translation? And the next question is, do you remember your first client that you got?
Actually, it is my mother who should be blamed for these 16 years in the industry. The thing is that in 2007, I was a student. I worked as a taxi driver, and I desperately wanted to find another job because I got tired of driving around the city night by night. So once I saw an advert from a local agency who they were searching for a outsourcer for a freelance translator, and I told my mother while drinking tea that I saw such advert. But I was sure it's not for me. That I was not going to be expected because I did not have any experience, because I did not finish my studies. And my mother encouraged me to call them, and I did it. And that day, by the end of the day, I got my first translation project in my life, and I do not remember the content. I tried to remember something earlier today, but no, I do not remember the content. But I remember the feeling when next morning or by noon I delivered that project, and in an hour I got rather positive feedback. In another hour they sent me the second project. So step by step, I start getting more work and stopped driving at nights.
Amazing.
I mean, for my
Very interesting story, very unique in my experience, having interviewed more than 100 colleagues. Amazing. So the first client was that agency or not?
Yes, it was an agency, a local agency, something very
Local agency, and you applied to them, like directly applying to the agency. Is that correct?
Yes. I saw their advert. I do not remember. Maybe it was a website. Maybe it was a newspaper. Something local.
Okay, and the next most common question we ask our guest here in this live series is actually, what is, I suppose I know the answer already, but maybe you can give us a different one. Let's see for surprise. What is your most efficient or most preferred way of getting clients, client acquisition strategy for your existing company right now?
Actually, I live to talk with people in person. That's why I can name several clients I literally met outside. Even here in Lisbon, we had a long-term relation with one lawyer, or let's say legal support company. I met him at my cafe where I used to have my lunch.
So would you say it's networking?
Yes, I think networking is the best option. However, in terms of our market, in terms of modern conditions, it's not possible to meet everyone. So I like email marketing. I like content marketing.
I was about to tell you that I thought it was email marketing in your case.
Yes, what I can tell you directly, I hate calling people. I hate cold calling. It's the
Me too, yeah.
worst thing ever for me.
So thank you so much for answering this. The last question is about scaling up, because you started as a taxi driver, then student, then you became a freelance translator, but now currently you're a CEO of a translation company. Do you remember one great scale up moment, like you decided to open a company or a very successful project or a 5-figure project or a very big client that you got a scale up moment you would like to describe to those that they are listening to us? Maybe we can motivate other people from our success stories, you know?
Yes, I remember one thing. I would never, I don't know, maybe, but the such point was that a friend of mine, she had a small local agency in my city where I studied. She asked me to substitute her for 10 days of her vacation as a project manager to help her with the project management. And I did it with no experience, and I liked it because I like to work with people, I like to manage people, and I like to work with freelancers. I know it's difficult for some people, but I like communicate with people.
Most colleagues are introverts, let's say. They avoid the communicate, but
and
you like, okay.
Yes, and I think it was that moment when I thought, okay, if I did it once, I can do it again. And I started thinking and focusing more on project management. I tried to learn. I tried to find out what can be done better. So yes, I think it was that moment.
Amazing. And that was like brought you higher income, you mean, like a steady income that actually you decided to get into the translation company form?
At first, when I started my first business, I cannot say that I could not say that my income was good because, but I wanted this shift. I wanted to move forward and to do something that I like to do, not to keep doing something only because of money. And even today. Uh, in June, it will be the 4th year of my LinkedIn blog. And again, my motivation here is not money. My motivation here is interaction, networking with people. And again, I like what I am doing. So the best award here is when I get some feedback, when people tell me that, because of your advice, I made this, I made that. Such things are of a great value.
It's rewarding. I understand what you mean, being in the industry myself for 15 years and mentoring other colleagues since 2016 myself. I know what you mean. You cannot do this for money. Everyone that has studied only for money, they leave it at some point. They find it overwhelming, because if you've been mentoring other people, you realize that it's very energy consuming to take all the problems or challenge of someone else like yours and to be able to deal with those and finding a tailored solution for every of your mentee and participant to your programs.
Yes,
So,
you know it very well, and I can provide such example. One of
exactly,
my services for freelancers is
mhm,
individual consultation. Uh,
exactly.
it is something around 1 hour and a half.
Mhm, mhm,
But in order to prepare for this consultation,
mhm,
I spend usually up to 4 hours because I want to provide the best advice. I want to provide the best recommendations, and to
mhm.
do so, I need to check profiles. I need to check LinkedIn page, to read CVs or proposals. It's very and it's interesting because when you can do something exclusive and individual for 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 our colleagues.
So amazing. Hello, everyone. I see people from Washington. I see people from Italy, South Africa, Bulgaria, Italy again. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in Greece. Zoe, we've seen your question. There are great questions in the chat, but we would like to address those questions at the end of this live because if they are not relevant to email marketing, which actually your question is not directly, but I would love to answer this question with Pavel at the end. So Zoe, if you can stay with us at the end, we are going to cover all of your questions. We are not going to leave any question unanswered. And of course, you can tag me or Pavel anytime here. In our Facebook group, Mentoring for Translators, is a closed private community, but also on LinkedIn or Facebook public page, wherever you are watching us. And of course, we're live on YouTube at the same time, so you can still watch the recording. But let us know if you have any questions, because that's the best thing you can do attending us live, to have all of your questions answered. So let's get into our topic, unless there is anything else you would like to add, Pavel.
No. Let's move forward.
So why do not try to tell everything? Why did you choose this title? Let's start with this.
Okay, because it's sort of a common mistake that is repeated again and again by many freelancers, and I know the feeling. We want to tell our clients everything about ourselves. We would like to tell about our competitive advantages.
Mm-hmm.
We would like to tell about our experience, our professional background, our skills, maybe about our hobbies. But it is not the best approach because the true goal of email marketing is not to tell everything and at once. I think you would agree would be strange if we meet a new person outside in real life and we start telling all our biography from our childhood up to now. So the goal of email marketing, especially the goal of the first email, is not to tell everything, but to provoke this communication and then to maintain this communication. And during this later communication, you will have a lot of chances to tell about yourself. You will have a lot of chances to share more information. And it happened with me not once that sometimes I receive such long emails with so many attachments that I literally cannot find the CV.
Amazing. So thank you for sharing this. So the more the better doesn't really support or is not supported with email marketing. So try to be targeted as much as you can. And let's try answering one per one the questions that we have said with you in our structure of our life. So let's start. Why email marketing? Do you think is outdated? Some people, they go for LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn as a client acquisition strategy. You love network, but why email marketing?
Okay, so the problem is that it's a sort of a contradiction that in our industry. On one hand, absolutely every person and every company may need translations and language services. On another hand, translations and language services are not, let's say, convenience goods or everyday products. It's not something we purchase every day. And when you offer your services to a client, if such customer does not need them right now, nothing in the world can force him or her to make an order. And here is the main benefit of email marketing in terms of our market. You can send your proposal, you can offer your services, and this information is going to remain on your client side. So if one day your customer needs some translations or some language services, uh, customers can return to your proposal. They can find it. It is always with them. And it is the biggest advantage. Also, there are additional things or additional advantages. If we compare with cold calling, every call interrupts work of our clients. And we should understand that our customers are busy, because if they are not busy, unlikely they need our services. Here, again, we can contact them, we can share some information without interrupting their work processes. And speaking of social marketing, content marketing, I like LinkedIn too. I know that it is effective way to find clients and so on. But sometimes by myself, I see a post made by a translator or by a language professional. And then after several weeks, we have a project. We need a person with corresponding qualification, with corresponding skills and corresponding language combinations. But it's not always easy to find this person again. If you did not contact this person before, or if you did not write down some information, let's say like this.
So you sum up the comparison between the most traditional ways of getting clients and email marketing. And for me, in general, when I'm asked this question, because in the full book translator formula, I always cover email marketing, because it's the most traditional way of getting clients. Some people, they might think it's outdated. And at some point, yes, because it's a traditional way of getting clients. But always there are benefits in comparison to modern and traditional ways of getting clients. And for me, among all the things that you mentioned, and I really agree, is actually the fact that some people, they really use email marketing to be approached, and some of your clients might not be on social media or other platforms, so you might need to use email marketing so as to reach them out. Were you about to add something, Pavel?
Yes, I also read your website. It's very insightful, and I would like to add only one thing. If a person has a strategy, every type of marketing will bear fruits. If a person try this, try that without a plan, the results will be lower. So yes, my book is not an attempt to tell that you should do only mail marketing. Ideally, it's great when people invest their time and effort into various types of marketing.
Exactly.
But,
great advice.
As you have said, for our industry, email marketing remains a traditional way of reaching new customers.
Exactly. And also, as you mentioned, for me, the great advantage is that our contact details remain in their database. So I have had clients that they found me 1 year later and they told me, we have received your email and would like to contact you. But apart from that, still nowadays, 2 of the participants in my last round of Full Book Translator Formula, they were able to make 10K income with only email marketing campaign, with one campaign. So this is how successful email marketing can be, as long as you do it in a targeted way, in a professional with a plan, as Pavel just mentioned. So it's really, really important to add this. So you have another question about your decision to write the book. I think we've covered a bit how you decided to write this book about email marketing. We're going to share the links that you can buy the book, and you can find LinkedIn newsletter of Pavel in the chat. Would you like to add something more about this?
Okay. As I said, I started with an attempt to prevent some typical mistakes, to prevent some common issues. But then I asked myself, okay, if you say that if you do this or that, it's wrong, how to do it in the right way? And that's why in my book I provide examples of how you should not do something, and at the same point simultaneously I provide examples how it should be done to reach better results. So yes, we can say that my book consists of things of recommendations how to prevent typical mistakes, but also how to share. I share best practices that I use by myself too.
Amazing. So thank you so much for sharing. Just shared some links. We are going to be sharing more links because they don't fit in all of them in one comment. So please find the links to Pavel's book in the chat. Okay, some of them were accepted, some of them were, because they're very long, we are trying to share, but I will try to do that again later on, definitely. But you can see Amazon, definitely. Which Amazon? Okay, I think mostly has been shared. The book is available on Amazon. There's Amazon US, UK, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Amazon, Netherlands, Japan has already been shared there successfully. And you can find also Brazil, I see, Canada, Mexico, Australia, India, amazing. So I think most of the links they have been shared in the chat. Let us know if you cannot reach them out. You can reach out directly to Pavel. Pavel, you would like to be reached out through your email or LinkedIn profile?
It's totally fine to contact me anyway, because I do my best to reply as soon as possible. Always.
So Pavel is always available on social media and through his email. So if you have any questions or you cannot reach out through the link that we have shared in the chat, you can definitely reach out to Pavel for his book. Amazing. So let's continue with our questions that we have. To talk or to ask? What is the right marketing goal for freelance language professionals? Why did you include this question? What do you mean this, Pavel?
We also talked about it a bit earlier, but again, freelancers who use email marketing in their work should not overload their clients with information. And it's more valuable to talk with your customers, because when we speak with someone, we find new touch points, new grounds for cooperation. We may start a normal discussion. We may find out what do they need and suggest something. And sometimes some freelancers, their attitude to email marketing is like this: I send you my email, you have all my information, you have endless list of attachments. If you need me, I'm here.
Okay.
And this is not the right approach. The better approach is at first to, of course, we need to present ourselves, but it does not mean that we should only talk about ourselves.
Amazing. So thank you so much. That was about, definitely, and I agree with you. It should be, everything should be targeted. The CV should be targeted. The cover letter should be targeted. The way that we talk to our clients should be targeted in a way that they would like to be approached and they would like to be sent the information. Okay, amazing. What should be included in the first email to a new client? I think that's a hot question here. I think everyone joined to find out what to write in the first email to a new client, email body and attachments. So guys, if you're watching live, stay tuned and let us know if you have more questions about this. So Pavel, the stage is yours.
I offer you to remember old video games. You have this guy and you have some platforms, and you jump from one platform on another platform, from one platform to another one. So step by step, you reach some point and you win the game. Here it is. I have the same feeling about writing an email, because as you have just said, we should predict, we should plan reactions of our potential customers, of our readers, of people who are going to read our first email. So from my point of view, there are 5 main points. The first point, you should, point number 0, you should say hello. Yes. Not all people do this, but it should be there. So after that, the first point, who are you? The second point, what you offer, just in short. Of course, it's just 2 sentences. Then, why did you decide to contact me? The fourth point, very important one, where did you find my contacts? Because it's also valuable business information for me. And finally, sort of a call to action. Call to action can be a question. You can ask me something. Because if you ask something, more people will reply to your email. Or you may ask or suggest potential clients to visit your landing page, to visit your website, to find something. But you should always call to action. And here I would like to add one more thing. It's not enough to attach some files like CVs, presentations, portfolios to your email. It is a sort of a work for potential customers. They need to they need to open this file, they need to read it. And if you want them to do it, you should again add this call to action. What can you find in this attachment? What can your customers learn about you if they open this or that attachment? So that's all.
And the way that you describe the structure and the content of the first email can be applied for both direct clients and agencies, LSPs. Is that correct?
Of course, LSPs, agencies, they are default clients. Absolutely every agency may need your services. So here I don't want to say that we are on the same page, but yeah, we are colleagues anyway. So when I tell about this structure, of course, I focus on direct customers. But if you apply the same approach to language service providers, I'm sure the results will be better. But of course, if you use a sort of a template, it should be a different template.
Exactly. Yeah. So I agree with you that the main structure can be the same. The only difference I see between LSPs and direct clients is that the actual attachment in one case can be a CV, whereas with direct clients, we need a different marketing material that attached like a portfolio or a company profile. And also with direct clients, maybe also the call to action might be different, whereas LSPs usually they need very, very specific information. The onboarding process, usually it's very specific. So for example, an LSP, you might ask them or you might show your availability to take a test, let's say. Whereas with direct clients, we don't offer a test. There are other ways. Maybe you can offer them your previous portfolio or previous project so they can take a look.
Or they are default client. They work with freelancers. So when you contact agencies, LSPs, you may just ask them, what should I do to be onboarded? What should I do? How should I proceed?
This is definitely, and if not asking, at least visit their website to see if they have instructions, because the biggest LSPs or those that they are looking for collaborators, they usually have a specific dedicated page on their website about their onboarding process. So they might ask you also to fill in a form. So in such a case, you skip the email. But that's a great advice. So with LSPs, we have a different strategy. With direct clients, a different strategy. But the whole structure, like we need to address the email to someone, we need to let them know the reason we're sending this email, to give them instructions what to do, a call to action, and also to close an email with a question so as to trigger the continuation of the discussion, is definitely can be applied. This can be applied definitely for both types of different clients. Amazing.
And
yes.
Sorry for interrupting you. I would, when we speak about the first email, when we speak about its structure, it regardless to whom we send it, to LSP, to agency, or to a direct client, we should not even think of it like of a cover letter. It's another typical mistake for a lot of language professionals. They even call their first email to customers, it's my cover letter, it's my CV.
For direct customers, you mean? They call it cover letter to direct client?
If you are a freelancer, your relations with your clients have nothing in common with employment. And every person who starts writing his first email today should understand that it's not about employment. It's about, let's say, collaboration, partnership.
Exactly. That applies to both cases. Either you're applying for a freelance translator to an LSP, or for a company, either or a boutique LSP to another direct client, or a solopreneur to another direct client. So thank you. So we see, Nicola, your question. We are going to cover if applying to work with LSPs, do you think it is a good idea to first introduce yourself per email, or only fill out their online form only after we've been invited to do it? So this is the question from Nicola. Would you like to answer that, Pavel? You see the question?
Yes, I'm happy to answer this question, and I did it in my book too. If any company, again, an LSP or a direct customer, have a sort of some onboarding procedures, like all vendors, all freelance vendors should fill in a form, should submit some papers, should do something. It should be done first. But you can also benefit from email marketing by the way. Sorry?
Exactly, I agree with you.
But
Yes.
you can also benefit from your email marketing strategy if
Mhm,
in a couple of days after filling in for the form, you get back to them via email,
mhm.
yeah, briefly introducing yourself and asking if they received all necessary data, if they need more information about you and your services. So at first, fill in the form, then send an email. From my point of view, it's more effective.
I agree with you, and instead it could be also email marketing here as a follow-up to your application, Nicola. But also, I see, as you know, because Nicola is also in the fully book translator formula in VIP one-to-one mentoring program. I would agree. Also, maybe you can follow up if you know the person or a project manager of the company on LinkedIn. So it can be both. So email marketing and LinkedIn as a crossover platform. Definitely, I see the most efficient way to do things and to get an answer without being pushy. And overwhelming people. So amazing. Do you, Pavel, have templates of your emails in your book?
Uh, yes, not like ready-made templates. I explain the process of
Mhm,
writing in
mhm.
detail. It's the biggest part, the biggest chapter of the book.
Yeah.
And of course, I provide examples of how what to add to the first email, what to add to the text.
And you include also strategy. Is that correct? The plan and the strategy?
Yes, of course, sure.
Amazing. So you can find both how to plan, how to create a strategy for email marketing, how to structure the biggest part, and of course some examples.
Virginia, I am really proud of my book because I divided the whole process of email marketing into 7 stages, and I believe that I managed to analyze all of them in detail. So from general understanding of email marketing to even collecting contacts to arranging your database of customers, of writing the email, then all follow up things, analysis, recording of the results, and so on. So yes, I managed to cover all aspects of email marketing.
Great. And Federico, you ask, where do you usually find direct clients emails? You mean the email addresses, Federico, where we can find the email addresses from direct clients? Is that correct? Federico, that's your question. If you can clarify, what do you mean by emails? You mean the addresses of specific direct clients? Is that correct? If you can clarify, do you have a newsletter flow? How many follow-up emails do you send out if you do not get any answer? So that's a great question. Okay, yes. So Federico, he refers to where we can find the actual email addresses of direct clients. Federico, uh, did you participate in the fully booked translator formula or the ultimate LinkedIn prospecting system? Because the fully booked translator formula covers this, but most probably you graduated the ultimate LinkedIn prospecting system. Let us know. So do you have, Pavel, any advice on how to find the direct clients email addresses?
As we have such interesting event today, this interesting conversation, I am not going to repeat that maybe
Okay.
included in your program or in my book, because I think in my book there are something around 15 sources of contacts, or 10, I don't remember exactly.
Mhm.
I will tell you about my beloved one, my preferred one.
Perfect.
I really like to find direct customers details, emails, and phone numbers if you prefer cold calling on websites of different exhibitions of different events, industrial events, because there you can find especially international events. So
Mhm.
if you are searching for clients who need translations of some manuals,
Mhm.
you can find an international event, and there very often you see these emails. But
Mhm.
what is uh, more valuable for me here, you can always refer to this event, because you can tell the person, I found your contact details there and there. And if these people represent their companies on at various international events, more probably they likely need translations and language services. So so that's why my preferred way to find contact details is studying
Mhm.
websites of different international events.
Okay, that's a great way. One way definitely are international events and exhibitions. You can find a list of exhibitors there or the attendees. Those people most probably. My beloved one are Chamber of Commerce, is where I belong to, or associations I'm a member, where I can actually ask the list of members there, and that way I know if they need translations or not, Federico. And definitely we cover many different ways, like association, chamber, exhibitions, that like an event like Pavel mentioned. Their website most probably has some emails, and definitely I'm sharing here the chat hunter.io and similar scrapping tools, email scrapping tools, where you can find the emails of specific companies. So if you know, for example, that a type of companies, okay, some types of companies are your ideal clients, you can definitely use some email scrapping tools. And some of them, usually they have their email on their LinkedIn profile. If not, again, scrapping tools like the ones I'm sharing in the chat can also be used for such purpose to get the email address itself. But your next question, Federico, is more interesting for me, that Pavel maybe also covers in the book, and he can tell us right now. I have an answer, but I would prefer Pavel to give us an answer of this. About newsletter flow, Federico asks, how many follow-up emails do you send out, and if you do not get any answers? Okay, so that's question, Federico, only for those that they don't answer to you, because we have strategy for gentle reminders here for existing customers. But I think Federico's question, Pavel, is addressed to those that they don't get back to you. So how many reminders there you might be sending, or follow-up emails?
So in my book, I presented the strategy of gentle reminders, and it works fine both with existing.
Okay, because you mentioned with okay,
It does not. It's not crucial if these people answer you or not. I do not like the word newsletter because it sounds a little bit heavy for me.
Exactly.
But we have a lot of news to share with our customers, and we should do it. Because, as I told at the beginning, the purpose of email marketing is not to tell everything about ourselves, but to maintain the communication. So, if we speak about follow-up emails in a very literal sense, like, did you receive my email? Or last week I sent you my CV and I did not get a reply. Can you please tell me if you received it or not? Do not send them, because they do not bring you any results, very rarely. But if you maintain communication with your customers, it's a good idea to send these small portions of information that I call gentle reminders to all of them. If you are going to have, are you going to have a vacation this year? When? Tell your clients about it. It's an ideal way to keep this communication. It's the ideal way to stay in touch with them.
Okay. So those are gentle reminders, even though, Pavel, this applies even though you don't get any replies? Like if they ignore your reply, you keep sending them, or you stop at some point?
If a person asks you to stop, you should stop. It's a law.
No, I mean, if they don't get back to you, they don't ask you to stop, but they don't get back to you, so you never get any reply, you keep sending them. Is that correct?
According on grounds of my experience, I can tell you, there was one Italian translator with whom we have been working since 2017. I tell you honestly, more probably, I don't know why we did not reply to her first email. We did not reply to her second email. But when she sent the third email in 2017 telling that, I am back from holidays, I am ready to take new projects, I am open to work, we immediately contacted her because we need translations into Italian.
It's a timing also, yes. It's a matter of timing in our industry. So persistence works in our industry. That was...
and the strategy, one of the advantage of the strategy of gentle reminders is increasing the probability to be right on time. Exactly. Because we should understand, if we send one email, we have X, our chance is, we have X chances that this email arrives on time. But with every next email, we increase chances. The only problem here, and the one should be very important. If a person says, no, I do not want to receive your emails, and it does not mean that this person would never get back with some projects. No, this person just do not want to receive more emails. Then we need to stop.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. My 5 cents here would be, yes, definitely newsletter flow is different from the sequence that you ask at your second part of your question, Federico. So about a newsletter, I've seen many colleagues, they have a newsletter where they share their news with their potential clients or their existing clients. That's different from your email marketing sequence. So if you would like to have a newsletter, can be weekly, can be bi-weekly, can be once per month. I've seen all of the different scenarios here, and you share your news with your existing clients or people who have registered to your newsletter so as to be also GDPR compliant here in the European market. About your second part, when people, they don't get back to you, which means that you are implementing an email marketing campaign with a sequence of emails there. My experience and also marketing traditional, let's say, advice is that people, before they buy, they need 7 to 9 different touch points. If you're going to use only email to get in touch with them, will be 7 to 9 emails, which for me it's too much, but that's what traditional email marketing says. If it's going to be several different touch points, like you divide through email marketing, LinkedIn, and maybe phone calls, let's say as an example, then you can divide to 3 emails, 3 like messages on LinkedIn, and 3 phone calls, or 2 or 1, depending on the numbers you would like to use there. For me, usually LinkedIn and email, like 2 messages each, usually they work pretty fine to get results, but you need to test the waters because every client is so different, especially if we discuss about direct clients. They're so different, the types of direct clients, and they have different reaction to the way that we contact them. So that would be my 5 cents here. If you have more questions, Federico, let us know here in the chat, and definitely you can ask Pavel directly. He's the expert at email marketing. Hello from Brazil. Do you think it's useful to send an online CV or a link or a PDF attached? About the attachment, I don't know, Pavel, do you have?
I like this question, and I wanted to answer it. What works better for you? It can be a good PDF file with your CV. It can be your presentation, or you can only provide a link to the resource where I can find your CV, where I can download your presentation. The only difference and the biggest advantage of providing links, that this link will be a way how you can analyze and assess the effectiveness of your campaigns. For example, I have just sent 200 emails to one target group of clients. And then I have my website statistics. I see that I invited them to download my CV. And after I sent 200 emails, I have 50 new visits to my website. So 25% of recipients were interested. They follow my suggestion to open my CV, and it increases my chances to reach new clients because I have additional information. And it's very hard to get this information from attachments, because even if you use some email trackers, this statistic is not accurate.
So you can get, if you use an email tracker, because there are tools where that you can actually monitor if people, they download or they visit the link, or you can check the statistics by downloading a form, or you can get also a notification when someone get access to your attachment through those. But yes, maybe the statistics are not
even we should understand that today, as more people visit our website, as more people visit our profile,
because there are not many people have website as freelance translators. We need to cover also the option that someone doesn't have a website, so they cannot have a form to download. Yes. So in such a case, either you send a Dropbox file or a Google Drive file. You can use Bitly so as to see how many people they click on your link and they download it. Or if you have email tracker tools, that some of them are for free or some of them are paid, you can see who downloads the file or who clicks. You can see the clicks to the links that you include. Maybe the link is to your website. So definitely both. But do you think, Pavel, if you include a PDF, goes to the spam folder? Is that correct? I've heard that. No. Okay.
No, I don't think so. Moreover, I do not recommend to attach docs, Excel files, and so on. I have experienced more issues with sending editable files like docs, Microsoft Office files, and so on. PDF is rather a safe one, so it is rarely rejected by emailing servers. So But you can always try several formats. You can send a PDF file in the attachment, and you can add a link to your email signature telling where your clients can download the most recent version of your CV.
Amazing. So thank you, Maria Fernanda Gonzalez, for your questions. Let us know if we have answered your question, if you would like more information on this. So to sum up, if you have a website, the best practice here is to get a link to your website so people, they get access to it, so you can monitor the clicks there. You can get traffic to your website. So there are multiple benefits there. If you don't have a website, or if you don't know how to do this, then definitely you can either send a link to your Dropbox where they can download it, or your Google Drive. But yes, again, a PDF can work pretty fine as a PDF, as a file. If you wish, you can send it as a PDF. For me, the most important part is not the format of the file itself, but the content. And a PDF should be targeted and not containing your whole 10 years of experience in 10 pages CVs. Please avoid this. And Pavel just mentioned that in the beginning of our discussion. So Maria, you're welcome. You're welcome, Ileana. So I think a strategy of gentle reminders, did we cover that, Pavel?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So the last thing we're going to cover is best email subject line wordings. I think this is also really, really important. Catchy subject lines are not the best choice. So why did you choose it? Very interesting.
It's my favorite one.
Yeah.
You would hardly imagine how many emails from translators and interpreters that I receive start with the subject line something like new translation order or new translation projects and so on. And I understand that language professionals want to draw attention of clients, want to make them open their email and read it carefully. But speaking of a catchy line, we should remember the very beginning of our today conversation. As we talked, translations and language services are not everyday products. People may return to your proposal years after you send it, or months after you send it. And now imagine, you need to find the person. I need a translator from English, let's say, into Spanish. And I start viewing the long list of my emails to find the corresponding subject field. So the best subject field is the most informative ones. As I sometimes say, the best subject field is your shortest error presentation. So try to make it informative. Try to transform it into an anchor that help your recipients find your initial email, and it is my advice here.
I agree with you. The keywords, they play a role, especially when we're looking through our emails to find that specific translator who contacted us and we cannot find that email. So be helpful with the people, the recipients of your emails. Help them to find you and your info later on when they're looking for you. So can you give us an example or a couple of examples of titles, Pavel?
You mean subject fields, wordings? It's hard to. I provided some examples in my book, of course, but let's say if I'm a technical translator, I would write technical translator from English into Portuguese, and I may add something. I may add something in brackets, or it depends, but it should be something very informative and very concentrated.
So for me, it would be shortly make me something related to your specialization, definitely your language coordination, and the full wording would be better than the abbreviation, because we're going to look for such emails with the full wording. So don't use symbols and abbreviation. Try to use a full wording so as to be able
a very important thing, extremely important. Do not use abbreviations and signs. All symbols and abbreviations are not good for email title. They are misleading, and not all, especially direct clients, would understand if you write a translator from EN arrow PT BR. It's understandable for us, but it's not so easy to understand for direct customers.
Amazing. I don't know if there is anything else you would like to add. Pavel, there's one last question about websites we could answer, unless there are more questions coming up. Let us know, guys. That was about email marketing today. We have Pavel, the expert, the book writer here, so you can ask him directly, and that's free of charge. So take this advantage to ask Pavel anything you would like. And of course, you can book Pavel consultation hours. You can find Pavel on LinkedIn through his website. We have shared the link to the book, and now I'm sharing the link to his newsletter on LinkedIn. So let us know if you have any more questions. Pavel, is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
Yes, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity.
Of course, thank you.
To speak with you today. It was very interesting. I really like all questions.
Yeah,
And
there were great questions, great participation. Thank you, guys, for joining us from all over the
yes,
world.
and I would like also to wish all of you good luck in finding new customers. And before we say bye-bye to each other, I would like to add one more thing. Be persistent. It's not easy to find new clients. It has never been easy to find new customers. But if you keep doing something, if you have a plan, if you have a strategy, at some point you start succeeding in getting new clients. So do not give up if you something takes more time than expected.
Patience for me also is really important. Persistence, as Pavel mentioned, and patience, because marketing is an ongoing process, is a long-term process. Success doesn't come overnight, but yes, we have seen great success stories as well with email marketing. Is really great way, apart from other ways of getting clients. So let's answer Zoe's last question. So Zoe, if you see the question here, Pavel asks, let me repeat it for those who don't see it. Do you think that having on website, your own website, is important or helpful for a freelance language professional, or would it be sufficient to have a profile on Pros or LinkedIn? Thanks.
Zoe, I think that having a website, it's definitely an advantage because it's a part of personal brand development. You send a strong signal of professionalism to your clients. You tell them, I am a professional translator. I build up a website for myself. It's my business. You can trust me. I mean, I try to explain the customer's point of view. However, if you are not ready to invest into your website right now, what you need is a landing page. It can be whatever you want. It can be your pros.com profile, it can be your LinkedIn page, but there should be a landing page. There should be some place, some resource, some space where your potential customers can go, can view it, and find more and more and more information about you. Better if it is updating, so they can see some career development, they can see some updates from you, they can see some news, and it really adds value to your proposal.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Pavel. I think that's really interesting. It's very common to my answer. So, Zoe, my answer to you would be always a website is an add-on to our marketing, especially if you are going to get direct clients. So if you would like to attract direct clients, in order to build trust with them, they would like to see your online presence somewhere professionally, and our website is our virtual office, let's say. So definitely they're going to look for you at a second stage online. So having a website definitely adds value to your online presence. But I should be honest with you, I've seen colleagues that they have 20 plus years of experience without a website, that they very easily make 6K per month with a Gmail or a Hotmail without having any online presence. That used to happen in the past years. I don't know if currently is the situation because of the competition, but definitely I know some colleagues with just a Gmail working only with agencies, they're making a lot of money, they're very successful in their field. If you would like, though, to work with direct clients nowadays, because of the competition, I would definitely recommend you to have at least a landing page, as Pavel mentioned. LinkedIn is a great tool also to provide such information, and a website could definitely be an add-on. Let us know if we have answered your question, Zoe, or if you would like us to go deeper with this. Pavel is always available on LinkedIn and through his website. You can definitely reach out to Pavel for more information, or myself. And today, to sum up what we have covered, in the first part, we discussed with Pavel about his own story and how he started out, how he his preferred ways of getting clients, and of course his consultation services. At the second part, we covered why email marketing, why Pavel decided to write his book for language professionals, to tell or to ask what should be included in your first email to a new client, best email subject line wordings, strategy for gentle reminders, and we touched a bit about email marketing sequence numbers and email scrapping tools, among others. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live from all over the world. Thank you so much, Pavel. It was a pleasure, a great honor to have you here.
Thank you.
And we have said in the chat both your LinkedIn newsletter and blog link, and also the links where someone can get the actual book through Amazon. And if you would like, guys, to have Pavel again with us, suggest us any topics you would like Pavel to cover in an upcoming live, and we would be willing to have Pavel again, if you like the experience, Pavel, of course, to join us in another live in the future. We would be glad to host you again for a different topic or something more additional to this one. You're welcome, Ursula. This is very insightful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us from all over the world. Ileana, Ursula, Federico, Nicola, Carlos, Maria Gonzalez, Anne Marais. Who else I'm forgetting here? Thank you so much, everyone, for being in the chat or for not being in the chat, but you're watching us. And Pavel, thank you so much. Unless there is anything you would like to add?
Thank you, and have a great weekend.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. You, Pavel, stay here with me and we close the live. See you in our group and on LinkedIn. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.